Legend has it that it was written by the Dark Ones, Necronomicon Ex Mortis. Roughly translated, Book of the Dead. The book served as a passageway to the evil worlds beyond. It was written long ago, when the seas ran red with blood. It was this blood that was used to ink the book. In the year 1300 AD, the book disappeared.
Welcome to the Coffee House. I'm Curtis.
And I'm Tiffany. And this is our 13 games for Halloween.
This is an informal series where we kind of just take a look at some of the most spooktacular games that we have for this time of year. We're not going to get super in-depth into mechanics. This isn't a how-to-play series. We're just going to give you a basic rundown of how the game works, some things we like, maybe a couple things that we don't particularly like, but overall we just want to explain the vibe of the game, why they're on this list, and why we think you should get these games to your table for Halloween.
Today we are looking at Evil Dead 2.
The board game.
What gave it away?
Well, it's not the movie. So what is Evil Dead 2, the board game? Well, to put it rather bluntly, it is a hidden traitor loot check. And I know that loot check usually has negative connotations. In this case, it works. I don't mean it as an insult, but that's pretty much what we're doing in this game. So pretty much at the start of the game, every player is going to be given a card from the corruption deck. And depending on player count, this corruption deck is going to be seeded with a few Deadite cards. So at the beginning of the game, everyone's going to get one. You're either going to be human, or you're going to be a Deadite, or everyone's going to be human. It is entirely possible that you can play this game and there is no Deadite whatsoever. But regardless, the objective is relatively the same. What you're going to be doing is you're going to be moving around this board to all these piles of tokens. You're going to be picking up these tokens and you're looking for pages from the Necronomicon. And what you want to do is you want to bring them back to the portal to drop them off. And if you're the human player, you're filling a track one way to seal it. And if you're a Deadite, you're filling it the other way in order to summon the Kandarian demons. And then, of course, endless Deadites are going to spawn. There's events every round that's going to tell you how many Deadites to spawn and where to spawn them. And there's going to be special effects. And sometimes you're going to spawn bosses. You've got, like, the giant tree, and you've got Henrietta, and there's Ash's severed hand that will come out, and he'll do bad stuff to you. But you're going to be just fighting Deadites, rolling dice, and checking your virtue, which is another way that you're going to be gaining these corruption cards throughout the game. So it's not a one-and-done thing. You don't just get one card and it's done. Anytime you're rolling dice to attack or to cast a spell or things of that nature, if you roll the Deadite symbol, if you roll more Deadite symbols than successes, which are chainsaws, you're going to have to pass a virtue check. And you're going to have to roll a certain amount of successes during that virtue check to see if you pass it. And if you don't, guess what? You're going to draw another corruption card. So the more reckless you are and the worse your die rolls are, the higher chance that you're going to become a Deadite. Same thing when you're surrounded by Deadites and they're wailing on you. If you roll too many of those Deadite symbols, you're going to keep drawing those cards. There's also kind of an escalating rule for combat. So, if you're in a space and you're surrounded by Deadites, if you've got more than 3, every one Deadite more than 3 is an automatic hit against you. So it can really start stacking pretty fast. The Deadites swarm the board pretty good. And you just want to do your best to collect those tokens and get out of dodge. You can also use the pages of the Necronomicon to cast spells, though, so you can increase your speed. You can try to force a Deadite player at the table to reveal themselves. You can control some of the Deadite minions, and if you're a Deadite player, that means you can send them to attack the other players, or you can attack them directly as well. So there is a good amount of stuff going on. The hidden trader mechanic is fun and interesting, but that's just kind of the gist of how this game works.
So yeah, our group really likes the hidden trader mechanic, especially between, I think, you and our good friend Neil, between the two of you.
Well, Neil just likes causing chaos. He's an agent of chaos.
He is an agent of chaos, but this would be perfect for something like that.
Yeah, and you know, like she said, we do play a lot of hidden trader games. We've got The Thing, which we really like. We've got Unfathomable. We've got Shadows over Camelot, which is still one of the best hidden trader games ever, in my opinion. Even though the heroes have never won. No. Trader has won every single time we've played that game, but it's so good. The hidden trader mechanic isn't as strongly woven into this game. It can feel at times a little underbaked. Like I said, it's possible that there isn't a trader at all, in which case the game can feel really too easy. And in other cases, you really can't stay hidden for long.
I don't think I've ever played this game and thought it was too easy.
Well, that's just you. But it is really hard to stay hidden once you are infected as a Deadite, if you actually want to win, because it's very obvious that, hey, you're dropping off pages and filling the other track rather than the good track. So kind of once you're infected, you might be able to collect a few pages before they catch on to you, because you can have, I think it's a maximum of like 3 of the pages at a time, or I could be mistaken, but I do believe there's a limit to how many pages you can carry. There's no limit to the amount of tokens and items you can have, but I think there's a page limit before you have to start dropping them off. But, I mean, yeah, so you can go around, you can kind of collect a few pages, but once you go to that portal, it's going to be obvious, you know, what you are and what you're doing.
Yeah. So, fun fact is I've never actually been the Deadite in this game. I don't know what I would do if I was, because I'm very bad at being the bad guy in games. That's why I usually make him do it. But what I will say from my end is that it is very easy to get overrun by the little bad guys down here. So there was still always a challenge trying to get out and get all the pages with the people who you think are also not Deadites.
I think I have always ended up being a Deadite. Normally I play as Ash, and Ash has the lowest virtue in the game. So he almost automatically fails every virtue check that you can come across, which is theme appropriate because, you know, in the films he does get infected by the Deadites. That's a whole thing. So like it thematically it's appropriate. Sometimes when you're playing the game it can be kind of a pain in the ass because you're like, oh look, I'm a Deadite again because this is my 14th virtue check this game and I've just gone through this deck and there's just no way I'm not going to be the Deadite if I wasn't already one, you know. But you know, overall this one it's really light. You got to know what you're getting into with this game. The rules overhead is very, very minimal. The hidden trader mechanic it's there, but it's not super deep. You don't have to like get all up in your headspace about strategizing how you're going to do this, that, and the other thing and keep everything a secret. And you don't have to be like 50 moves ahead of the other players. Bottom line is you're moving around the board, picking up tokens, throwing dice, and killing Deadites. And I think for Halloween, you can't do wrong with that.
No. We definitely would watch this movie during spooky season, Halloween. So I think it fits to add it to your playlist. Absolutely.
It's right up there. And I know it just got reprinted again, so it should be much easier to get your hands on it these days than it was when I got this game. So if you're in the mood for a lighthearted dice chucker, you want to pick up some items that give you some special bonuses, you want to dabble in the hidden trader mechanic without being overwhelmed, and you really just want a beer and pretzels kind of game for the Halloween season, Evil Dead is going to be your jam.
I would agree.